Day 1196, I'm just leaving the dollar store because I went there to get props for the class I'm going to teach tonight. So I was studying the verse that I'm going to go over, which is Isaiah 54:17, I think. It says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." That word weapon in Hebrew means vessel. Formed means to squeeze something into shape. And then against means like upon. Shall prosper, like succeed, make progress. And so what it actually translates into is no vessel squeezed upon you shall make progress. And I just had this visual of like the enemy's created a vessel, a container, like a cup, and he's trying to fit you in it. He's trying to squeeze it on you. And I just imagine this styrofoam cup pressing like on your head, and it just like you press it against your head and just it breaks. Like that verse is saying, like, no vessel that the enemy tries to contain you in or tries to put you in is going to prosper. It can't make progress. It can't move forward, because when you press it, you're bigger than the cup. You can't fit into that. You can't fit into the identity that the enemy has given you. And so that verse is just like, whoa, next level. And so I had this idea to do this exercise where I get these styrofoam cups and everyone gets clear on what's the enemy trying to convince you are. What's the container he's putting you in? And I looked at my life this week and everything I have to do. It's literally crazy. It's overwhelming how many things I have to get done, that I get to get done. And I'm looking at that, and the enemy says, you're going to screw it up because you are a fraud and you're about to get exposed. Like, all of this is going to collapse because you're not the real deal. You're a fraud, Chris. And so that's what's going to be on my cup. So I'm going to write that on my cup. And what we're going to do, I'm going to do an exercise to make sure they all remember it. We're all going to put it on top of our heads, the styrofoam cup that has that label that the enemy's trying to put on us, that the enemy's trying to force us into that container. And we're all going to press down and we're going to crush it on our heads. And I'm going to have everyone take it off and see, this is the weapon that's formed against you. It can't make progress. It can't prosper. You can't fit into this. You are too big for this container, for this weapon. Therefore, you cannot prosper. And so people can see, like, this is what the enemy's trying to force me into. He's trying to get me to fit in to this container, this vessel, to hold me back in life. But I don't fit. I can't. It can't make progress. It can't force me into it because I'm bigger than that. I'm greater than that. And so I did it for myself, like, just walked through the exercise. I didn't do the styrofoam cups or anything. I just went and bought them. But it was just like, man, the container, the weapon that the enemy has formed against me, that he's trying to squeeze me into, the container that he's trying to squeeze me into is the container of you're a fraud. And when I shrink myself down small enough, I fit into that container, and it sucks. And this week is like the ultimate stand against, because when I accomplish all of this stuff with God's help this week and everything goes the way it's meant to be planned, I can't be a fraud anymore. That's not even existent. The enemy can't say anything because I'm going to succeed. I'm going to be the real deal. And I'm looking at my life and I'm like, okay, I feel like I've been a fraud most of my life. Like, a lot of talk, but not enough action. I mean, I've had a lot of action in a lot of areas. I've done a lot of things, but compared to my greatness, and I look at the life I'm living now as being a believer, and I'm like, I'm not a fraud at all. I'm the freaking real deal. Like, look at the life I'm living. Look at the risks I'm taking. Look at the leaps of faith that I'm taking. Look at the things I'm getting delivered from, like 20 years of porn addiction done like that, 20 years of masturbation addiction done like that, like just totally like being delivered and transforming my life and my family. People are giving their life to Jesus. My friend who's Islam is going to be converting to Christianity and coming to church on Sunday. Like, I'm the real freaking deal. And the enemy doesn't want me to see that I'm the real deal. And so all these things are falling into place. And the enemy wants me to fit into his container of who he says I am, to shrink down to fit into that. Because where God's taking me, like, I had a friend reach out to me last night who's a meeting planner, and she wants to partner and start booking me on stages. And it's just like, dang, God, you're nonstop. Like, last night I already was looking at everything and I'm like, man, it's already a lot going on. And then she reaches out and she's like, yeah, we need to get you on stages. And I said to her, I was like, I don't have like time with everything I have going on. I don't have time to get on stages. She was like, what the heck? No, I don't accept that. You need to be on stages. And I was like, you know what? She's right. And so it's like, man, it's just crazy, but I can't fit into that container. So I'm gonna have everyone take it and crush it on their head so they can see like, hey, so when this container tries to squeeze you into it, look at what happens. It breaks. When the enemy tries to squeeze you into an identity, if you resist it, it will break. And then I'm gonna have them keep that cup with that word written on it and take it home as a reminder to show them, you don't belong in that container. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No vessel squeezed upon you will make progress. No way. So I'm very excited. This is it. And I'm just realizing that preparation is key, which is so interesting because the church we went to yesterday, the pastor was talking about preparation and how important that is. And that's the one thing that I really lack is preparation. I wing pretty much everything. But when I'm prepared, it's a next level of performance. And I feel like that is what God is showing me. Like, Chris, I need you to prepare for where I'm taking you. No more winging it, because he's always had me. He's always been there to catch me when I just jump off the cliff. But I need preparation. I feel like where he's taking me, there needs to be preparation, because that preparation creates a different level of confidence. It allows me to think things through. Like just now, like it's not even 10 a.m. yet, and I've got the whole thing planned out for tonight. So all I have to do is go to church, put together the presentation, and then I can work on something else. Usually I'm working on it all day, trying to figure it out and do this, and it's always last minute. And I walk into the class stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, and then luckily God gets me through it. But it's like this preparation. Preparation is like, I feel like the season that God is showing me right now, where he's taking me, I have to be prepared for. So yeah, it's incredible. So yeah, it's really exciting.